I had it easy. I'm a Nepo kid. Fully managed to come across as an arrogant, like famous dad's son who was speaking too much and saying things he shouldn't be saying and being very irreverent.
Hi, I'm Siddharth, Kannan, and I always believe people who are survivors are better than achievers. The GOAT life, survival against all odds, and two people who've survived every hurdle that's come their way in life, professionally and personally. Prithviraj, ande, ella sokema?
நல்லா இருக்கீங்க நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்க
நான் சூப்பரா இருக்கேன். எப்படி இருக்கேன் பார்க்கிறதுக்கு?
சூப்பர்
உங்க மாதிரி சூப்பர் இல்ல.
love your t-shirt. Yeah.
Super. This is borrowed. I have to return it back in half an hour.
Okay.
And Jimmy Jean-Louis.
C'est très très bien, bravo.
Super?
Super.
You approve?
Yeah, completely.
I like it. Good. My father trained me so much in the morning to say it the right way, and I did it. So thank you, Appa. Okay,
Nice.
listen. I know what I was excited to chat with you because I know how you become the character, how you live the character. And very few people do that around us. When I see this character, right, did it take a toll on you physically and mentally?
Physically, for sure, it did because so when I said yes to this film in 2009, and the moment I said yes to this film, I knew that I was getting into something that required me to go through this transformation. It's when you talk of a transformation like this, the fact of the matter is there is no healthy way to do it. I mean, it's not like you hit your protein target and hit the gym twice a day. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about becoming emaciated, looking like you do not have food to eat, which then would mean that you actually starve yourself. Yes, agreed, I had a trainer, I had a nutritionist, I had a doctor on sets, but the transformation largely required me, literally speaking, not eating. And I mean fasting. And there were times when the fast would be up to 72 hours long. So physically, it did take a toll on me because I was hypoglycemic for the longest time after the film. For almost like 6 to 8 months, I had low blood sugar. And I was my weakest when the film shoot got over. It did take a toll on me. Mentally, I think I'm a much richer human being. I'm a much better actor for having gone through the experience because I don't know, if not for the process of doing this character, if I would have felt all that I felt and if I would have experienced all that I experienced within me for any other film or any other character.
Wow. And let me tell you, you said you felt your weakest when the film got over. When the film will be out, you will feel your strongest.
Oh, thank you so much. I sure hope so.
What was that aspect of your character that made you rediscover yourself, Jimmy? What was that?
I think I can sort of draw a parallel between Najib's life experience and my own life experience as well. Having to go through all kind of struggle to see the light. That is not very far from me. I can understand that. But having to play that character, of Kadri, it's just incredible because I get to play someone who's very close to God somehow. He's an angel, out there trying to do his best to save someone else without anything asked, without anything in return. So I think it's a character that is a real example on what everybody should try to do and to be, to each other.
Are you spiritual as a person?
I am spiritual. I'll say spiritual and not religious.
Yeah. It's a survival drama, right?
Yeah.
If I told you to look back on your career, what was that moment where you said, it's going to be tough for me to survive, but you finally did it? That upheaval.
I have to be honest, I had it easy. I'm a Nepo kid, as the new terminology would suggest. My dad was an actor, and I got my first film only because of my surname. I'm being very honest here. But I only got my first film because of my surname. From there on, I've really worked hard. I've had big dreams for cinema. I'm a hugely aspirational guy in the sense that I've always believed on big cinema and taking cinema world to the world and all that. But I can't really tell you that, like someone like, I know what Jimmy's been through, I know his story. Compared to something like that, mine is pretty unremarkable. I've just been somebody who came into cinema at a very young age when I was 18, and from there on my life has been all about cinema. Yes, in between I fell in love, got married, I became a father, but apart from that it's all cinema for me. I've in that sense it's not a very rich life. All my experiences, all my what I draw from, what my inspirations, it's all cinema. But someone like Jimmy, I mean, when you talk to him, he's seen the world, he's lived the world. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I wish I had a life like that, but I'm jealous that he's had a life like that.
I'm quite jealous you are jealous as well. Just so you know, I would have loved to have a very
You both are jealous of each other. I'm jealous of both of you. So we are one jealous gang with a J gang. The jealous gang. I love people like you, right? Because when I do interviews and I do chat shows, it's not about my views, it's not about my likes. I do it because when I step out of the room, I've grown in every chat as a person because I'm spiritual. I understand that when I look back, like even when I'm talking to you right now, I'm going to go back as hopefully a better human being. You were homeless before you became a model in Paris, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I mean, I'm from Haiti. Number one, grew up in a house where there was no electricity, no running water, so at the very bottom. At the time, for most of the Haitian families, you had to go elsewhere to try to look for a better life, which is what my mom did, who was a maid. And as a maid, you don't make much money, but she still succeeded in getting everybody out from Haiti. It took her 7 years. From my brother, my sister, and then my father. So, for 7 years, I was without my mother. And then I ended up in Paris. But, in Paris, go to school and all those things. And then my parents went back to Haiti. There, I stayed in Paris with my brother. And then my brother got into a relationship. And then here I am by myself, fell into some trouble, and I'm homeless with pretty much no family. Because my parents went back to Haiti. Only my brother was there, but he was doing his own thing. But when you get into that kind of situation, when you're homeless in a place where it's cold, there is no help for you. I was squatting apartments, meaning by that I'll go to the empty apartments and stay there. And from time to time, I'll go back at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning and find a concrete door because the people have realized that someone was there and suddenly I have no more stuff. I have to make a U-turn with nothing. You have to think about what is your next move now. It's like, what's going to happen? So it's interesting because I was young, I was going to all the fancy clubs. I had a way to sort of manage that nobody would even think that I was homeless. And that bought me some time, to maybe link up with a few girls here and there. Yeah, let's be honest, we do what we can. We do what we must sometimes. And that carried on for a few months until, I sort of slowly, got myself together. And actually, I had to get out of Paris because it was too rough. So I went to Spain, and that's when I started to work in the musical theater. So I worked there for 3 years, and then I studied to model. Then I went around the world, from Spain to Italy, South Africa, France, England, and then now America. But, a lot has happened throughout those years, so it's interesting. I'm writing a book, actually.
You are, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
It's done now, so I'm just...
You should definitely do it.
Yeah. So I'm writing a book, so we'll
I
see
assure
how-
you I will buy it.
Oh, please, that will be, it'll be a pleasure for me.
Prithvi, now people talk about any project they're associated with. Seriousness comes with it. They know there's a lot of substance in the film because Prithvi's name is attached. But was there ever a criticism that may have been given to you by media or peers that at that time was like, where did this come from? You analyzed it and you said, okay, it's right, but I'm working on it. or it's wrong, but I'll still work on it?
Yeah, so I mean, when I initially came into cinema, I never planned on being an actor. So I was pursuing my bachelor's in information technology for I don't know why in Australia, and I was back in India for a summer vacation when I got offered my first film, and I looked at it as a summer job. Like, okay, I mean, I'll do something for the 2.5 months I'm here, then I'll go back to college. But I never went back because then my life took a turn and I became an actor. But I wasn't trained on how to be in front of media or how to project yourself. So I was pretty much being myself. And I think I successfully managed to come across as an arrogant, like famous dad's son who was speaking too much. And saying things he shouldn't be saying and being very irreverent. So people thought I was this young, arrogant guy. And I tried to work on it and I failed.
So yeah, but I presume once people get to know you, they realize that, it's
Yeah,
not
but
like-
I'm very thankful to the audience in Kerala. I should also say this, that, after a while they understood that, I don't mean to like harm anyone or I don't mean to like diss anybody. I was just being myself and this is the way this guy speaks. And after a while, I should thank the audience in Kerala that they thought, okay, I mean, that's who he is. Now let's watch what he does in cinema and judge him by that. And I was also very lucky, very privileged. There are a lot of great filmmakers thought I had potential as an actor. Like right from the beginning of my career, I had really maverick filmmakers coming to me wanting to make like very, very good films. This is a classic example. Like back in 2008, 2009, I was still an actor, like getting there, finding my space in the industry. And Blessy was the most coveted filmmaker in Malayalam. Like everyone wanted to do a Blessy film. Every actor wanted to do at least one Blessy film. And then Blessy suddenly decides he's going to attempt the biggest film he's ever done, the magnum opus of his career, and he thinks, I want him to play the character. So that way I was very lucky, I was very privileged. But, as I've always maintained, I will never claim to be the most talented. I will never claim to be the most gifted, but I have a definite shot at being the most hardworking.
Wow. And you know what, like they say, talented person may not survive in the long run without that hard work, right?
No, yeah, you don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
No, in any field,
In
anywhere.
any field, yeah. But the hardworking guy can end up becoming the most talented guy.
I don't know, but I mean...
They can become the most successful guy because, with perseverance, it's really the one who puts the work out that actually see the light. Because, as an artist, the number one thing that stops you from going further is patience. You want things to happen straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away. Meantime, there's another guy, he's not extremely talented, but he's working. He works and works and works and works and works. And often it's that guy that sees success, But at the same time, as he's working, he's also learning. So,
Yeah.
जी हाँ दोस्तों, मेरा खुद का मर्चेंडाइज, अंगार मर्चेंडाइज, जंपर्स, टी शर्ट्स, हुडीज, मग्स, ये सब आपको मिलेंगे इस लिंक पर which is angar.store. यहां पर क्लिक करिए. लिंक ऑफ दिस इज ऑल्सो इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन, जो आपको मिलेगा इस वीडियो के नीचे.
Tell me, which are the other Indian actors you know about?
I mean, I know of,
Yes.
I know a few names, a list of cans. At one point, you think that it's a huge family and they're all actors, That's what you might think from abroad, but I mean, so many of them, they're all extremely talented and very well known.
What about the actresses, dude?
The actresses, well, there is that one, please help me with her name.
So you met her at Cannes.
Yeah.
So he knows of Aishwarya Rai. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was here in '96. I was doing a fashion show in Bombay and another one in New Delhi. And at the time, she did one of the fashion show with us. So, she was that beautiful, lovely, elegant woman, girl at the time, because she was a lot younger. And then afterwards, I was aware of who she was because she crossed over she did a few movies in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's I did meet her here back then.
Wow, but you met the right lady, I must say. Yes, for sure. Huh? Prithvi, we always believe that the actors from down south are a great community together. Are they very close? Do you all hang out? Do you all ideate? Do you all discuss projects? Maybe you or Dulquer or for example, Prabhas. Are you all very close as a gang?
So, so Dulquer, myself, and Fahad Fazil, we all, at least in Cochin, we all live fairly close to each other, and we are all like nepo kids, right? So our fathers used to know each other. Like Dulquer's dad, of course, the legend, Mammootty sir. My dad, he's no more. He passed away when I was very young. But my dad and Shanu, Fahad's father, Fazil sir, who is one of the most iconic directors in Malayalam, in South Indian cinema actually. They all knew each other. So we've seen each other as kids. Strangely enough, we've never got to spend a lot of time with each other till the pandemic struck. The pandemic happened, the lockdown happened, and suddenly we realized that we are all in Cochin, 10 minutes driving distance of each other, and nobody is shooting, nobody is filming. So that's when we really got hanging with each other. So it's just the three of us who live quite close by. And then with Prabhas, it's a friendship that happened because we worked together in Salar. If you know him, it's impossible not to be friends with him. Like, you know, he's just like one of those guys, like, you know, he'll walk into this room and he walks out of this room, you all will feel like, okay, you know, so we know Prabhas. He's like that, like really sweet, down to earth guy. And again, I mean, something you have to learn from that man is probably one of the biggest stars the country has ever produced, and he has no clue.
But that's what happens with all achievers, right? People who are actually successful, their simplicity personified.
Yeah.
The ones who are in the middle, right? They might not be struggling, they might not be successful. They are the ones who actually fight a battle of showing what they have, showing the money that they have, the power that they have. They'll drive it into you. And the ones who know where they are, they're probably...
Like I've had the privilege of directing Mohanlal sir for 2 films, and now I'm shooting the 3rd film with him. There's nothing he has to prove. I mean, Mammootty sir, what does he have to prove now? I mean, if both of them stop acting today, they'll still live comfortably with the same lifestyle for the rest of their lives. They have enough money to do that. They'll still be regarded as 2 of the greatest actors the world has ever seen. And they'll still have the same respect that they will have. But even now, they wake up every day morning thinking, how can I better myself? Like when I'm directing Mohanlal sir or when I have a conversation with Mammootty sir, I realize they are thinking of how to do something more, how to better themselves, and that is amazing. And it's that sense of direction, it is that sense of moving that I think is very, very vital. So regardless of the fact that you're struggling or you think you've been there, if you lose that sense of movement and direction, then you're in trouble.
And I think it's also healthy to have moments of doubt about yourself.
Yeah.
Moment, you know, where you're not too sure, you know. I think it's very healthy. Not thinking that you're everything, but there's a little bit of insecurity that's there that you need to work on, you know. So that's very inspiring.
Yeah.
And I think we all suffer from that, especially being artists.
How's the equation with Allu, Ramcharan, Junior NTR?
Tarak, I haven't spoken to. I don't know. Junior NTR, I don't know. I have spoken about him a lot to Prashanth Neel because Prashanth is also doing a film with him. Ramcharan, yeah, we speak once in a while. Like he's again, I mean, much like his dad, Chiranjeevi sir, is like really a really nice gentleman. You know, Chiranjeevi sir had gotten in touch with me for a film that he wanted me to play a role in called Saira Narasimha Reddy. Unfortunately, so this is actually a cute story. Yeah? So Chiranjeevi is one of the biggest stars of the country from Telugu cinema, gets in touch with me for this magnum opus he is making called Saira Narasimha Reddy, and he wants me to do a role in it. And this is happening, I think, somewhere in, I don't know, 2017, I don't remember. So I tell him, sir, I would love to come and work with you. I would have loved to do this film. But there is this big film I'm doing called Aadu Jeevitham. You know, it's in Malayalam. So, and all my dates, because I've grown this beard and everything, and I'm doing that film. So he's like, okay, right, you know, I understand. And I said, I'm very flattered that you thought of me. And he said, right, no problem, and he lets that be. About 5 years later, I think, 4 or 5 years later, my debut directorial called Lucifer releases in Kerala, and thankfully it's done very well. And Chiranjeevi sir has bought the rights to do it in Telugu cinema. And so someone from his team, and Chiranjeevi sir had come finally for Sairan Narasimha Reddy is releasing that time. After 4 years, that film is releasing, and he's come to Cochin, and someone from his team is pitching the idea of me directing Lucifer in Telugu, the remake also. And I'm telling them I would have loved to, but there is this one film that I'm doing, you know, there is one film I'm doing that I've given all my dates to, and they're like, sir, this is the same film and I'm like, I had forgotten that I told them this, and like, actually it is the same film, you know. So yeah, I mean that's
That's funny.
yeah. But Chiranjeevi sir and Ram are really proper gentlemen, you know, like how they treat people and how the respect they give to other artists, proper gentlemen. Allu Arjun, again, I've met him a couple of times, but I've not gotten to know him personally,
Jimmy, if I told you one animal who you relate yourself to, which would that be?
Lion.
Yeah! And why? For obvious reasons, but anyways.
I think I've heard that all life long. and I think I like, you know, a lion is very calm, but at the same time, when he needs to attack, he knows how to do that. And I don't know, I like, yeah, lion.
Which is that one compliment that you've received, which you keep here and close to your heart, that you may have received from someone who you've really admired?
So I mean, over the years, I've been privileged to have had compliments come my way from absolute legends, like Rajini sir has called me and spoken to me about a performance in a film. Mammootty sir, Mohanlal sir, they've all, you know, spoken to me about my films, and it's been very gratifying. But I'm going to pick a very recent memory associated with this film, because Najib, the real life man, when he first saw some footage, I remember him tearing up, and he kept saying, "Ella orma on the way," like, you know, it all came rushing back to me. It all came rushing back to me, and that was a big compliment, that he saw my performance on screen and he got reminded of what he went through himself. As heartbreaking as it sounds, I thought that was, in a way, a very big compliment for an artist. So,
Have you got teary-eyed after doing a film yourself?
so the thing is, I am, as a person, it's very hard for me to cry, and it's difficult for me to cry. But in front of the camera, when I'm somebody else, when I'm playing a character, the easiest thing I can do is cry.
My God.
Yeah, I don't know why that dichotomy exists, but that's how I am.
Yeah.
So when you feel like crying, what do you do in real life?
I usually run, because see, the thing is, when I say I don't cry easily, it's not because I'm a strong person, it's because I'm very weak, because I think the really strong men are the ones who will cry, right? I don't think I'm that strong. So when I feel like crying, I run away from the emotion. Because when do you cry? When you're really vulnerable. And who are the people who do not mind showing their vulnerability? The really strong ones. I don't think I'm that strong. Yeah.
I hear you.
By last 30 seconds, it's called Sid K Kangar, which means Siddharth Kannan. Kangar, Angar means fire from within. So here goes. One thought that keeps you going when the situation is tough, that you tell yourself, Jimmy.
Just life. I have one say that goes, the sun will rise and the sun will set. Regardless of what goes on today, tomorrow will be a different day. So things will clear up.
Wow. What comes to your mind when I say Akshay Kumar and Tiger Shroff?
Fun.
Were they as naughty with you too?
Akshay sir is just a riot. You know, I mean, he's just like that as a person. He's got this hyper energy about him, and he's just like, if there is if there are 10 minutes between shots, he's suddenly thinking on what prank can I pull.
And he did one on you too?
Oh, not one, many. But yeah, he's just like that. He's just one of those, if you did not know how old he actually was, because of the way he looks and the way he acts, you would think he's a lot younger. So,
And what about Tiger?
oh, I mean, he is the kind of focus that that guy has towards his lifestyle. And so Akshay sir took us. I don't know if Tiger is going to be embarrassed. I'm saying this, but Akshay sir took us to a hibachi restaurant in Glasgow, where the Japanese chef will make stuff. So before he starts cooking the chicken or whatever you've ordered, he will first like fry potatoes, and he'll do this. What they do, this showy thing where they slice the potatoes and flip it, and you're supposed to catch it with your mouth, and it's like this big, this piece of potato. So he's flipping, and this Sonakshi and me, and so you're all catching it. Oh, okay, and we eat it. So Tiger does that. Of course, he catches it in the first try because he's like that. No, he catches it, and then he takes it and keeps it. I'm like, no, I don't eat carbs at night. I'm like, dude, it's this big a piece of potato, and I'm like, no, I don't eat carbs at night. That focus is unbelievable.
That's great.
Thank you so much, Prithvi and Jimmy.